The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Turning Point of Tampa.
Well, we just wrapped up Recovery Month. It's now Sober October, and it represents an opportunity to shine the spotlight on sobriety and addiction awareness. With ways to get help and treatment, joining us now to discuss is residential therapist Logan Chamberlin with Turning Point of Tampa. Logan, it's great to see you.
Great to see you as well.
So, we talk about things like Dry January and Sober October and times where people try to dial it back a little, but there are so many people out there struggling, and this is a year-round problem.
Absolutely, and the defining characteristic with addiction or any substance use disorder is loss of control. So that inability to stop, to cut back, to control or regulate their use.
And I think, so often, or at least in years past, it's just been, you almost feel shameful thinking about it or talking about it if you're struggling with addiction. But when we have these awareness months, time to open up the conversation, I think people are starting to realize they're not alone in this and that it's okay to talk about this and to seek help.
Absolutely, and addiction, more than any other disease, is shrouded in shame and secrecy and denial and embarrassment. So the solution to that, in short, is connection with others and talking about and communicating and opening up to others with the struggles that people have in recovery.
Yeah, and the biggest problem for a lot of folks is taking that step to get help. And I know that that's what you specialize in at Turning Point. Tell me, what are some of the services that you guys offer?
Absolutely. So Turning Point in Tampa, we are a local residential treatment center in Tampa, Florida. We've been in operation for 30 plus years, and we have the spectrum of treatment options for an individual with alcoholism, addiction, and eating disorder as well. That includes residential treatment where our clients are staying and living on the premises. And then the continuity of care includes an intensive outpatient, and we just recently opened the Detox Center, so you can come in and get medically detoxed and taken off the substances and stay there for the help that you need.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this before the interview. We were talking about how a lot of people are masking what hurts them, but if they can get past that, life could be so beautiful. And you must see these life-changing stories all the time.
I do, and it's something that keeps me very connected to the work that I do, because in addiction, our lives get so small and so isolated, and recovery is just the complete opposite of it. Misconception that people have is if I stop drinking or drugging or acting out in any addictive behaviors, my life's going to be boring and miserable. But it's quite the opposite, and that's really the work for us to help others to connect and engage with that. Recovery is about finding a level of peace of mind and reconnecting to a life.
Yeah, and people that I've talked to that have gone through the recovery process, many of whom we've had on the show, their life has never been better. Like there's so much light at the other side, and at Turning Point Tampa, you help people find that.
Yeah, and I've never heard someone with a year of sobriety say, this was the biggest mistake I made, I regret stopping. It's always quite the opposite.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Bloom. It's been great catching up.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And you can start your recovery today. For more information about treatment or questions about addiction, please pick up the phone right now and call Turning Point of Tampa at 813-882-3003. We'll be right back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Turning Point of Tampa.